Christians are one of the most persecuted groups in society today, facing discrimination, violence, and marginalization in various parts of the world. The reasons for this persecution are complex and multifaceted, stemming from a combination of historical, cultural, and societal factors. One of the primary reasons for Christian persecution is the growing trend of secularism and the increasing rejection of traditional values and beliefs. As society becomes more secular, Christians are often seen as being out of touch with modern values and are therefore viewed with suspicion and hostility. In many parts of the world, Christians are a minority group, and as such, they are often vulnerable to persecution and discrimination. In countries such as North Korea, China, and Saudi Arabia, Christians are subject to severe restrictions on their freedom to practice their faith and are often arrested, imprisoned, and even killed for their beliefs. In these countries, the government and societal norms are often closely tied to a particular ideology or religion, and Christians are seen as a threat to this dominance. For example, in North Korea, Christians are viewed as a threat to the authority of the ruling regime and are therefore subject to intense persecution and repression. In addition to government-sponsored persecution, Christians also face violence and intimidation from non-state actors. In countries such as Nigeria and Egypt, Christians have been the target of terrorist attacks and bombings, resulting in the loss of countless lives and the destruction of churches and other Christian properties. These attacks are often carried out by extremist groups who view Christians as infidels and enemies of their faith. In some cases, Christians are also subject to forced conversion, where they are coerced into renouncing their faith and adopting a different religion. Another factor contributing to Christian persecution is the growing trend of anti-Christian sentiment in the media and popular culture. In many Western countries, Christians are often portrayed as being intolerant, bigoted, and out of touch with modern values. This negative portrayal can contribute to a climate of hostility and intolerance towards Christians, making it more difficult for them to practice their faith openly and without fear of reprisal. Furthermore, the rise of social media has also created new challenges for Christians, as they are often subject to online harassment and bullying for their beliefs. The persecution of Christians is also closely tied to the issue of religious freedom. In many parts of the world, Christians are denied the right to practice their faith freely and are subject to restrictions on their freedom of speech and assembly. This can include restrictions on the building of churches, the distribution of Christian literature, and the holding of public worship services. In some cases, Christians are even denied the right to wear crosses or other Christian symbols or to openly identify as Christians. Despite the challenges and dangers faced by Christians, many are choosing to remain faithful to their beliefs, even in the face of persecution. In fact, the persecution of Christians has often been a catalyst for growth and revival, as believers are forced to rely on their faith and community in the face of adversity. In countries such as China and Iran, the number of Christians has grown significantly in recent years, despite the severe restrictions and persecution faced by believers. In conclusion, the persecution of Christians is a complex and multifaceted issue, driven by a combination of historical, cultural, and societal factors. From government-sponsored persecution and violence to anti-Christian sentiment in the media and popular culture, Christians face numerous challenges and dangers in practicing their faith. However, despite these challenges, many Christians remain committed to their beliefs and are choosing to stand firm in the face of adversity. As a global community, it is essential that we speak out against Christian persecution and work to promote greater understanding, tolerance, and respect for the rights and freedoms of all people, regardless of their faith or beliefs.